Supreme Commander of the Zentradi, Lord DOLZA, had never considered the tiny Micronians to be so ruthless. According to the latest reports from Commander Ozonia, Chiron's Batoros fleet had suffered a major loss when the battle fortress used some new powerful energy weapon to not only destroy many of Chiron's ships, but they sacrificed an entire population center to do it. Such tactics were almost respectable by Zentradi standards. Yet what made this even more alarming was that they seemed to continue to unlock many of the secrets and technologies hidden aboard Zor's battle fortress to do it, causing DOLZA not only a feeling, a need to hasten the capture of the ship, but an even greater desire to obtain it. Ozonia had unfortunately proven to be incapable as of yet to further this Zentradi imperative. Thus, DOLZA reluctantly decided to recommission Breetai to command the fleet in the Micronian system. This gave no small amount of pride and satisfaction to Breetai as he was offered this commission. However, he used this moment as leverage to be given direct command of the Zentradi Imperial fleet, citing the need for such resources in confronting such a deadly foe as the Micronians had proven to be. DOLZA concedes Breetai his wishes, but warns him to produce better results with the second chance he'd just been offered. Hexador meets Breetai outside the room and is astonished when Breetai relays their new orders. They proceed to Breetai's flagship to once again head to the Earth's system, this time backed by an enormous amount of ships that, according to ROBOTECH, numbered 1 million strong. But in Macross it's said to be 1,000 ships strong, and the exact number doesn't matter much. The point being that Breetai is returning to finish what he started, but with a fleet that our heroes aboard the SDF-1 can't possibly hope to escape. And not to spoil the impending feeling of doom, but I always did chuckle as a kid when Breetai and Hexador arrive at the command bubble on his ship, and seeing that it was still unrepaired after the number Max did on it several episodes before. But, as Max himself once said,
"Wow, what a mess! Repairing things doesn't seem to be any priority with these guys."
It seemed Lisa had been correct in her assessment that all the Zentradi really know is how to fight. The SDF-1, back in its cruiser mode and floating in the beautiful blue oceans of Earth, saw a plethora of helicopters dropping gigantic containers full of supplies, which led an uneasy credence to the rumors that the ship and all the people aboard would once again have to leave the planet. But at least MACROSS would have plenty of burger patties and fries for the journey. In his quarters, Rick struggled to compose a letter of condolence to the parents of Ben DIXON. He had known how proud they were of their son and his commission as a pilot, and he dearly wanted to convey what an upstanding soldier, skilled pilot, and beloved friend Ben had been to the Defense Force, and to Rick personally. Ben DIXON may have been brutish, loud, and certainly a bit of a goofball, but he and Rick had been through a lot together in the short time that he knew Ben. Rick wanted to make sure his folks knew that their son had been a true hero. But where does one find the words without sounding like empty platitudes from an ungrateful bureaucratic entity? Oh, he hated this part of command more than any other. Yet he could almost see and hear his old pal Ben telling him it was gonna be okay. Rick was doing great, and not to worry so much about everything. And just then, Rick heard another one of his friends, but this time he knew it was real. Max was at the door, and Rick was grateful for the interruption and walked with Max to go get some air. They'd been grieving together feeling not only the losses of Ben and Roy, but just the greater weight they felt in the Skull Squadron, the responsibility, ever since Rick took command of it. Max even surmises that the feeling of watching out for those under your command must be grueling. Rick didn't deny it, and Max mentioned it may only be a matter of time until he was threatened with his own command, since they kept promoting him. Rick took the humble brag without flinching, knowing that Max, of all people, deserved all the cachet and awards one could achieve. The arrival of a fancy military helicopter and the big shot it surely carried inside seemed to confirm the rumors that the planet's welcome mat had been pulled in, and soon they'd be essentially banished from her surface. And although the prospect of being ostracized from the Earth and the rest of the human race was certainly a sad notion, Rick admits that the SDF-1 felt like home anyway at this point. Max admits the same, and suggests that since this may be the very last time they get to see the sun from the Earth's surface, they should enjoy this moment before moving on to the future. Elsewhere, hidden deep in the bowels of the ship, the three Zentradi spies refurbish a battle pod in secret. Whether this is the battle pod that Lisa and Vermilion Squad brought back in their escape, or perhaps one the spies discovered in some unexplored cargo area left over from the days of Zor before the ship ever crashed on Earth, it's never said. I kinda always assumed the latter, since I always figured Robotech R&D would have wanted to dismantle and study the one Rick and the others came home in. Anyway, RICO, KONDA, and BRON prepare to share their last meal of Micronian food before their planned big escape back to their fleet to deliver their findings.
Hey you guys, it's ready!
Good, I'm starving. What have we got today?
It's called beef stew.
It smells terrific. Let's eat.
Hey, how about some music? Listening to Minmay helps my food go down better.
She makes everything better.
What about my cooking, boys? You think it's improved some?
Yeah, it takes me over an hour to get indigestion now.
That is better. It used to take 15 minutes.
When he first started cooking, I used to get sick just thinking about it.
I'm gonna miss this Micronian food.
Well, I hate to admit it, but you're right, me too.
And that's not all. I've been thinking, I'm gonna miss a whole lot of things, like movies, happy people, music.
Yeah, the music. The thing I'll miss the most is hearing Minmay sing every day.
Forget about that.
And you remember those girls we met that one time? Yep, dancing was fun.
Yeah, that Kim was really something else. She had me laughing almost all day.
And that girl Sammy, when she spotted us with the doll. My heavens!
It's hard to believe that by tomorrow morning we'll all be back in uniform.
Yeah, I can hardly wait.
The big shot that arrived on the helicopter Rick and Max had seen earlier left Captain GLOVAL's quarters after officially delivering his newest orders. Orders he was still incredibly incredulous about as he stormed around with his pipe. It wasn't even the mandate to leave Earth's surface that bothered him the most, but the vague promise of what would happen if he further refused. Such an unthinkable consequence. He could barely fathom it. As Lisa enters, she hardly needs to ask to know what has made her captain so gruff. It seems if any occasion warranted a drink, it was this one. They make a toast to their last moments on Earth, but also to the safety of the civilians they now had permanent charge over. There was still the matter of who was going to tell them. It could be assumed that whomever took on that duty would become a hated persona on the ship, causing Lisa to offer to do it in lieu of the captain. But GLOVAL denies her offer, taking all the responsibility for this entire fiasco, and Lisa leaves to make the arrangements for the announcement. GLOVAL decides he better begin the preparations to launch, calling Claudia on the bridge to ready all systems for it as soon as their supplies are finished loading.
I want you to quietly begin preparations to move out.
What?
Prepare to take off.
Yes, sir. Prepare for takeoff.
You mean to say all those rumors about leaving are true? Well, let's be realistic. We did wipe out an entire city, you know.
We weren't responsible. That was a barrier overload.
Claudia, what's going to happen to all of the civilians?
Well, since they've already been declared dead and nobody wants to accept them, I guess they'll stay with us. Now hurry up with those final checks. We're running out of time.
Lisa's father's a big shot in the United Earth government. Maybe if she sent him a message, he'd hold up our orders
Sammy,
until we... Oh!
Don't you dare suggest such a thing to Lisa. She's in enough trouble with her father. Now get busy.
Even as the crew prepares for launch, they could never have adequately prepared for the monumentally massive force defolding on the far side of the moon. The sheer amount of ships is enough to cause massive gravity waves, detectable even from Earth, which the 3 Zentradi spies on the battle fortress take as a sign it was time to move out. Forcing their way out of the ship, moving through the water, they surface on a lonely rock off the coast, launching the pod part of their battle mecha towards the moon above. The radar room of the SDF-1 reports the gravity wave disturbances, which Vanessa confirms, relaying to Captain GLOVAL the sign of an incredible amount of defold activity. But at least Sammy remains ever the optimist.
Are you able to estimate the number?
I'm trying.
Wait! Maybe they've come in peace this time. Right, probably not.
The pod of the spies is barely detected with all the other activity in space. Vanessa reiterates the staggering amount of Zentradi ships that her scanners reveal. Claudia's strength truly shines through, reminding her young compatriots that it doesn't matter how many ships the enemy has. They beat them before, and they'll beat them again. GLOVAL is disturbed at the lack of reaction from Earth headquarters, expressing his thoughts to his crew and being truthful with them. Their orders are to leave the Earth and draw the Zentradi's attention away from it. Therefore, the SDF-1 is on her own and considered expendable. At least the Zentradi have plenty to occupy themselves with for the moment. While Breetai and Exidor await word that their 3 spies have finished being restored to their true and tall Zentradi size, Commander Azonia greets Breetai, congratulating him on his enormous fleet he's amassed to deal with one tiny Micronian ship. Breetai politely reminds her that she too has failed in her own orders to secure the ship for Lord DOLZA. Before Azonia can even formally acknowledge Breetai's reinstatement of command over her and her forces, Breetai curtly dismisses her, citing more pressing matters to attend to, asserting his dominance in the current Zentradi hierarchy. He and Exidor eagerly move to receive the reports of RICO, KONDA, and BRON and their findings aboard the Micronian vessel. The observation lounge they meet in has an impressive view of the Earth and her moon, as Breetai moves to discuss the many artifacts the spies were somehow able to cram into the battle pod they escaped in. The spies, back in uniform, have so much to relay, trying to explain music, its function, the way Micronian society and pastimes work, including television, entertainment of all kinds, and the fact that the Micronians are proficient in making repairs. Specifically, they mention the massive civilian population center rebuilt inside the ship. KONDA and BRON discuss the Micronian ability to quickly adapt to unfamiliar environments and situations, and, most shocking of all, males and females cohabitate together. RICO mentions the difficulty they initially had, forcing themselves to adapt to the close proximity of the females on the ship, although they never detected any negative side effects of it. In fact, quite the opposite. After many hours of this smorgasbord of information, Breetai declares he's had enough for one day. He excuses the spies so he and Exidor may plan how to use these discoveries to execute DOLZA's main goal of capturing the battle fortress once and for all. As they leave, KONDA urges the others to duck into a different, vacant conference room.
I think it went real well.
But I kept some pieces in my pocket. Did you show them all you had?
No, I held out too.
Me too. I guess that means we all kept something.
Let's see what we've got.
I saved a load of stuff myself.
Just look at all these things we're carrying. KONDA, what have you got?
A monitor instrument and a magnetic player.
I brought along 2 of Minmay's voice reproductions.
How about trading me one of those for something, huh?
What piece do you plan to trade?
I've got a Minmay doll.
Okay.
The other guys would sure be impressed if they could see this stuff.
Yeah, we could get away with showing just a few guys, don't you think?
Let's do it.
Look at what we brought from the ROBOTECH ship.
Here. And look at this.
And take a look at this. Here, you guys, eat these. They're good. The Micronians made those. They kept calling them candies.
Amazing. It's completely different from our food. What is that? It looks like a Micronian, but what are those noises? Oh, did I hurt it?
No, dummy, it's called a Minmay doll, and that noise is called singing.
You call that a Minmay? It's incredible. I've never heard anything like it.
Amazing. I think we should let some of the others hear this.
In a minute. Be quiet. I can't hear when you're talking.
Well, it seems Minmay has a whole new fan club in a very untapped market. Who would have guessed? The SDF-1 has completed all preparations for her journey back into space, but now Captain GLOVAL did his duty to the crew of his ship and the civilians on board it to officially announce their exile from Earth. Lisa had made all the preparations for this broadcast, including bringing along Lin Minmay and Lin Kyle, feeling they, more than anyone, truly represented the heart of the people of MACROSS City. I suppose there's a chance Lisa saw it as a small excuse to get close to Kyle, whom she'd still not sorted out her feelings for, as well as a chance to speak with Minmay and figure out what the heck Rick saw in her. But Lisa is a consummate professional, and I'm sure her intentions were primarily to have them show solidarity with the captain during this difficult time. Captain GLOVAL's message is broadcast live throughout the ship on every outlet and frequency, the military and civilians alike dropping whatever they were doing to hear this important proclamation. Rick is sure of what's coming, but even his eyes are glued to the screen as the captain speaks of the abandonment of the government in GLOVAL's appeal to allow the civilians to return to their homes and families on the Earth. As GLOVAL gets to the point, Minmay and Kyle shoot a worried glance to Lisa, whose gaze is locked on the captain, almost willing him the strength she knew he needed as he made this ultimate declaration to the ship.
I'll just bet you something terrible has happened.
My friends, I am afraid that I have some very bad news to tell you. I have received word just a while ago that this ship and all of its passengers have been ordered to leave the Earth immediately.
What? Oh, good heavens.
I can't believe the government won't let us come back.
If we do not evacuate this planet, we've been warned that we might be attacked by elements of our own defense forces. This is an unthinkable possibility. We have therefore taken on supplies and are now prepared to leave the surface of the planet. I desperately need all of your cooperation in this moment of terrible responsibility. We must all work for the day Earth will accept us back. Until then, we will survive as best we can. I give you my most humble apology.
Listen, everyone, the captain needs our support more than ever right now.
The captain is so upset about this. Oh, I feel awful.
Look, I don't understand anything that has to do with politics, but I do know that the only way we'll survive this is to pull together. We've been on this ship for a long time, and I don't know about you, but I think of the SDF-1 as my home now.
Oh, that girl is absolutely right. The ship has been like a home to us.
Don't forget, we have almost everything here that we could ever have on Earth. Our own town and all the things that go along with it. We've all been through quite a bit, but look at how strong we've become because of it. I have more friends here than I ever did on Earth. You've been like a big family to me. Someday we'll come back to Earth. We'll never give up hope. But for now, I'm proud to be a citizen of MACROSS Macross City in this ship.
I believe that's the best speech I've ever heard someone make.
Well, inspired me. I'm proud to shake the hand of another citizen of Macross City.
Lisa enters the bridge and bids the crew to initiate the launch sequence, finding even herself motivated by the words of Minmay. The ship rises from the waters, activating primary boosters as Claudia and Lisa hit the main reflex engines to escape the gravity of the planet. As the ship begins this new journey, Minmay takes this impromptu moment to further boost the morale of everyone on board with a song. Kyle, of all people, comforts the captain, showing understanding and unity with this head of the military Kyle preached against. Rick, who had found it difficult in his complicated emotions stirred by Minmay to watch her speak, now stares at the strength she inspires. He is heartened to know that deep beneath the glitz and glamour that now permeated Minmay's life, that wonderful girl with such power to encourage and rouse those around her was still in there somewhere. Lisa, Claudia, and all the rest ensured the safe travel of the SDF-1 as it moved into its new position orbiting the Earth, everyone on board feeling the connectiveness of Minmay's music. And in every corner of the ship they felt united, from the captain to the soldiers to the citizens they protected, all together one whole, pioneers of a new nation, making their home amongst the stars.